Welcome. It is my first live of the year of 2026. Welcome to Wedding Planning Wednesdays. Today we are going to take a look back at 2025, just some things I learned as a wedding planner, as a business owner, and also just looking ahead to 2026. I love this time of year. I feel like I'm constantly kind of looking for ways to learn and improve, and of course, business as usual. But there's just something about the end of the year and the start of a new year that really kind of kicks things into gear and, sets up our mind for moving forward. One thing that I kind of wanted to start this year was potentially, or not potentially, but I wanted to kind of share one thing every week that is enhancing my life, whatever that may be, whether it's skincare or a health product or whatever. So I wanted to share this today, and I'll also link it below. It's not sponsored or anything. Maybe eventually we can be sponsored. But I wanted to share this today. It's called Alpha Brain. I've shared this on just some of my social media before. It's by a company called Onnit, but it's a nootropic that helps just with focus, with energy. It's not caffeine. I think it does have a lot of vitamin B and L-theanine and just some other goodies in there. So I use it. I'm drinking it right now, just when I need a little bit of a brain boost. So it definitely helps, especially in the middle of the day when things are feeling a little bit sluggish and the AM caffeine has worn off. So that's kind of my enhancement product or tip of the day. But thank you for being here. If this is your first time, my name is Jane Yu. I am a wedding and event planner based in Los Angeles. I own a company called UNS Events with my husband, John. He runs the DJ side of the business. I'm the planner side of things. And I love helping engaged couples plan and design their wedding from beginning to end. And my focus is really on helping them find ways to personalize their wedding, maybe your wedding, if you want to work with me, and make choices that are intentional and personal to them. Because bottom line, it's your wedding day. Of course, you want to create a great experience for your guests, but at the center of it all is about you and your partner. So today, it's going to be a little less, wedding focused, but I think it's important to just sort of set the tone for the coming year. To be honest, 2025 did not end the way that I intended. I had grand plans for a slow but productive month with work, with catching up with friends, and doing holiday things with John. But I ended up getting sick for about a week. I know the flu's been going around. I don't think it was the flu, but I got sick and then John got sick. And then, it was just one of those things where life just throws you a curveball in that regard. But I think it was a reminder also to just kind of slow down. Maybe my body really needed to reset. And it was kind of perfect timing because I'd rather it happen when I'm not busy versus when I am really busy, like with work or whatnot. I kind of wanted to look back at 2025. I always look for things that I consider to be a struggle or a challenge. But then there were, of course, plenty of wins as well. And so for every struggle, I wanted to think about a counterpart that I consider to be a win or learning from it. And these were the things that I kind of came up with. And for me personally, I think it was a tough year financially and economically, just for a lot of people. There were a lot of layoffs. I know there were just a lot of things in turmoil in our country and just in our communities. And it wasn't the easiest, for sure. And, just talking to people in the industry and just people around me, or not even in the industry, everyone was kind of hit in different ways. And for me, I was, the wedding and my direct clients, it actually was not as bad. It was actually more than I had in the past. But I think, as I'm building our wedding business, I also freelance or subcontract for other companies for non-wedding events because, as you might know, I do also brand events and conferences and things like that as well. So it was tough. But, the win for that was, or learning was that I really was able to spend time just looking at the business. And to be honest, I kind of spiraled a little bit because I was like, I am a great wedding planner. Like I have a lot of confidence in myself as a wedding and event planner, but as a business owner, like building the business that I want to build, that's a whole other story. And I think because a lot of my focus in the past past couple of years have really been making sure that I'm also making money, which means I'm spending time not working on the business per se, but on just making money with freelance work that's not necessarily part of my own business, if that makes sense. I had time to kind of really look at the reality of things. And I think it was good because it really gave me a chance to take a hard look at what I was lacking and what I really needed to start spending more time on and have more of a strategy versus trying to catch up or figure out what to do in the moment. And I think even though it was tough, I didn't quite hit my revenue goals, but I did hit my revenue goals for the portion for this year where I wanted to make more money with my own clients, like weddings and other events, with my own clients who booked you and us directly versus freelancing for others. So in that sense, I was really, really happy about that. Every year, it's definitely been bumping up, and I'm really, really thankful for that, even if my total revenue goal, I didn't reach it. The second thing that I wanted to talk about that was a win is I launched my digital wedding planner. You've heard me probably talk about it on here, on Instagram, or wherever you might follow me. And that was a product that I had been sitting on for a long time. It's a series of Google Sheets and Google Docs and Google Slides, just Google Suite templates that I created for people who want to be hands-on with planning their own wedding, but they don't know where to start. They don't want to just Google how to plan a wedding and come up with 40,000 different answers from the internet. And so I created this, and I'd been sitting on the product for a long time, and I finally had the time to do it. And so I went into the motions of promoting it, setting up the checkout page, setting up an email list, etc. And I didn't sell as many as I had wanted, but I did sell something. And I learned what it takes, which is a lot of energy and a lot of time to just build an audience, be an advocate for yourself, trusting myself. And, that's like the hardest part, is really trusting myself that I have a great product, that I have the expertise to be able to give to, brides, grooms, engaged couples everywhere. No matter where you are, it would help you, even though I'm based in Los Angeles. And so it was really great practice, and I really had to ground myself in the fact that it was just that. It was practice. I had to learn from it. I actually went into it thinking that I wouldn't sell anything. But if you want a little preview of it, you can go to tinyurl.com/bestweddingguide. And I've also linked it below, along with other resources that you can find, and you can get a preview of it. It's the overall planning timeline, a wedding planning guide to help you, take you through the next year of wedding planning step by step. And the biggest win that came out of that was I really made the decision to start creating an online planning workshop or program for couples all over the US. And I eventually want to turn that into a membership for people who are needing support that may not be in the form of a one-to-one planner or designer. And of course, it's a lot more budget friendly as well, but it's really for couples who really want to own the wedding planning process and just want to have as enjoyable of an experience as much as possible. And lastly, you know, I talked about this a little bit, but I really learned what I started to learn, like the mechanics of building a business rather than building or my wedding planning chops. Because I know that I'm a good wedding planner, but to be a business owner means you have to be good at sales, you have to be good at marketing, you have to be good at telling your story. And especially right now, as a solopreneur or just me and John as partners, it's tough for us because we wear a lot of different hats. So I think it's really about prioritizing and focusing. And this year's goal really is for me to attract the people that I really want to work with, the people that will want to work with me or will find my content valuable. And it's just really about connecting and building. And that's what I have to see each year as, because in 2023, I had launched, or 2024 rather, I had launched my YouTube channel, and I didn't know what to do. I was just doing everything. And it was more of like a personal journey because I really like editing videos and creating it. But then in 2025, I was like, I'm going to go all in on the weddings. And now I've been doing these lives for a few months, and I feel like, you know, I have been building and people have been connecting. So I hope you've been finding the information useful. And wherever you are, whatever stage of life you're in, whether you're engaged or you're not, or whatever, you might just be watching this because you're also a solopreneur or business owner. I hope that, you know, this inspires you or lets you or pushes you to think about where you are and what you've accomplished and how you're going to look forward. And, you know, as we go through the year, I hope that I'm able to just be myself and market or tell my story in a way that's organic and that will connect with the people that, you know, who resonate with my message, or who my message resonates with, something like that. So now that I have looked back on 2025, which is always a fun exercise for me, looking forward, which is something I love to do. For 2026, I do have words or phrases or motto of the year, as I would like to call it. So maybe my MO, I'll call it my MO for the year, is like let's effing go. Like that's pretty much what it is. LFG. And the past 2 years, I really kind of been setting the tone with words like intention and overflow, and deserving, you know, just really setting up, believing in myself and all of that. And there's always going to be fear. There's always going to be doubt. But this year, I'm tired of not taking action when I know I can do it. I'm tired of living in the overwhelm when I know I have enough time. A lot of times, sometimes when I have more time, it's harder to stay focused, which is such an oxymoron, I know, and so paradoxical. But I am trying to be super intentional, like waking up with an alarm. I was definitely a little bit in my soft girl era last year where I was like, I don't have to get up with an alarm and I don't have to hit the gym at a certain time. I don't have to start my workday, especially when it was a little bit slower. But now it's like, no, that is not going to cut it. I am going to have a set plan. I am going to spend X amount of hours, because if I don't try, I don't know how much I'm going to progress, or if I'm actually progressing. And I feel like I'm just going to stay stuck forever. And I just don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to live in the world of I have everything I need. I don't need to do anymore. I don't want to live in that. I want to live in getting after what I want, getting after what I deserve, like going after the future that I want. Because I want to, you know, I'm not super young anymore. I'm like halfway through like my adult, like working life, I feel like, or a little less than halfway, but I want to set myself up for the future. You know, like the goal is to live a life that I love, be set up for financial freedom, be able to give back to community and friends and family. And that's really what my goal is. And I'm not really all about the hustle, hustle, hustle. I definitely love working hard, playing hard. But you know, there's no other way to level up except to challenge myself and really put in the work. So I'm really trying to do that. Today is day 3 of, you know, kind of being back, and I'm kind of tired. I've been waking up at 7 a.m. every day, and you know, just like pushing myself to go to bed at a certain time, like that alone is like been challenging a little bit. But I've been doing it, and I don't like burning myself out either. So I definitely try to make time, you know, to relax, to enjoy myself as well throughout the week and on the weekends. And so, you know, that's important to me too. And in the same kind of vein, like, I want to also have things to look forward to. I like the LFG kind of applies to all things life, not just business, in my personal life too. I think last year when I felt kind of strapped financially, I withdrew a little bit from meeting up with friends or going out to dinner and things like that. But I think it's really important for me, at least, to stay connected with my community, with my friends, with the people in the industry. And I'm just trying to focus on building relationships and staying connected. And it doesn't always have to be like a monetary thing, right? Like you don't always have to go out to dinner. Besides, I'm trying to lose the holiday weight right now. So I'm not going out to dinner really anyway. But you know, we can always go for a walk or coffee. So I've been doing that or setting up dates in the future. And I think having those plans to look forward to is really helping me mentally so far. So, you know, LFG is going to apply not just to business, but also to my personal life. And I think it's really important to have that counterpart. So it's not just all work, especially for me, because I feel a little bit isolated sometimes when it comes to working, because I work from home and I am, you know, I really like working with the team. And so of course I have my vendors and things like that that I have working relationships with when I'm planning a wedding or on site, like when I have my team. But you know, it's not all the time and consistent at the moment. And so I really need to be very intentional about finding ways to connect with or finding ways to connect in general. Because I find that when I do that, that gives me energy. And so I have to feed that part of myself to make sure that I'm progressing. And the biggest goal that I already kind of touched upon is really just building this online wedding planning community. Right now, I do feel like I'm talking to like nobody, but I am really happy and so grateful for everyone who's just subscribed to my channel, who's downloaded my free wedding planning guide, who's followed any of my social media accounts, and just engaged with me in whatever way, reached out to inquire about wedding planning services. So I'm very, very grateful. And I know it takes time. I haven't been doing it for very long. And I know I have to just continue building. I really want to establish myself as a wedding planning expert. And not just the how-tos of like mechanics of what to do, but my approach is to really give clients or couples an experience that they can enjoy and that they can make their own, and getting clarity for that. So everything that I'm doing is in the hopes of achieving that vibe. And I really, really hope that, you know, you will or not hope, but I'm thankful that you're here to support my journey. And, you know, if you're not a subscriber and are watching, thank you. And please subscribe and follow or like this video for more content. And I do really miss, because I feel like obviously being a wedding planner, you're in such close contact with the couples that, you know, you're working with. And so that personal connection really matters a lot. And so I am trying to sort of combine and not be afraid to share personal content as well as, you know, business content and wedding planning content, because I think it's important, you know, where I'm not just a wedding planner, like I am also a human being and a person like living life. And so I think 2024 I was just trying things out with content. 2025 I was like really kind of focused on weddings, but now I'm trying to figure out like setting up who I am as a wedding planner, as Jane Yu, as a husband, as a sister, as a daughter, you know, as a friend. And I think just all encompassing portrayal and demonstration, or presentation rather, of who I am. And that in turn, I hope will, you know, allow people or open up doors to connect with me on a personal level. And that's really my wish for 2026, is to be able to do that. And of course, a lot of it, of course, is to build a business, but I just love connecting with people in general. And so if this resonated with you, even if you're a business owner or in the wedding industry, or, you know, a wedding enthusiast, engaged or not, or whatever, I'd love to connect with you. So if you look at my description, you can reach out to me in so many different ways. And I really, really hope to see you in 2026. Now, if you're getting married, just to close this out, this year or even 2027, you can really, you know, just remember, you can approach it like you do anything else in life, one step at a time. And if you're at the start of the journey, welcome to wedding planning. I have a lot of resources for you. I have a bunch of videos that you can, you know, that I have recorded already that you can take a look at as you're getting started. And again, you can download my free wedding planning guide, tinyurl.com/bestweddingguide. And I really look forward to connecting with you in the weeks and year to come. And next week, because we are back to weekly wedding planning Wednesdays, as you may know or not, engagement season is in full throttle. And if you're planning a proposal or think you're going to get proposed to, tune in next week just to learn, like, you know, what to expect or what to prepare for, etc. Because I realize I'm always talking about the point after getting engaged, but of course, even before you get engaged, that's an important time as well. So thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you next week or in a future live, but you can always catch the replay, of course. And I will